Right guys, we're going to be looking at if statements today, which is how a computer makes decisions, and also the different types of comparator, which is what the computer uses to help it make decisions. You might be familiar with these crocodiles, which you might see in maths quite a lot. I believe the way you remember it is that the crocodile eats the bigger number. Some people like it, some people don't. It's up to you whether you want to use them. The 5 types of comparator are equal to, which is double equals. We need to use double equals because equals is already used in Python, so we need to do something a little bit different, but you'll get used to using that. We've got greater than, which is this crocodile here, less than, and then you can also, now if you don't like the crocodiles, you can use instead, the way I like to remember it is left is less, so that it points to the number that is smaller than it. We've also got greater than or equal to. It needs to be, so this is if it's something that's larger or bang on what you're looking for. Now the equal sign needs to come after, and the same with here, the equal sign needs to come afterwards for less than or equal to. You might remember this from the microbits, where you had to make a magic 8 ball, and if it picks a random number, or if it makes a random number, and if it picks one of them, it displays a different result. I'm going to be doing the same thing really, but we're going to keep it simple. For this one, it's a stupid program, you would never do this in real life, but it's just to get used to it. If the number 10 is greater than the number 5, and there's a little indented bit here, print yes. So this means if the number 10 is greater than the number 5, it is, run the indented bit of code, only the indented bit. That's why it's indented anyway, so it will just print out the word yes. Like I said, because 10 is greater than 5, yes will be displayed. If you did it the other way around, if 5 is greater than 10, 5 is not greater than 10, it won't print yes, and because there's no other code under here, later on we'll look at me adding more code, nothing's going to happen, just straight up nothing will happen. We can make it with an input, so let's say you're asking for a number. Notice, remember the int bit, you need the int bit to add a number. So you type in your number, let's say you type in, I can't remember what this PowerPoint's asking for, so it's asked for a number. Alright, okay, so let's say they type in 12. If 12 is greater than 10, which it is, it will say your number is greater than 10. Let's say they type in 5, then is 5 greater than 10? 5 isn't, so nothing will happen again. If they type in 10 exactly, you've got it's a bit of a problem there. Well, it depends if you want it or not. 10 isn't greater than 10, 10 is bang on, so what you would have to do is use instead the greater than or equal sign, and that way it would pick up, and you might want to change this to your number is 10 or more, so it will pick up whether it's 10 or if it's a million, it doesn't matter, as long as it's over 10 or over or equal to 10. If you only want to accept the number 10, like nothing else, you use a double equal sign, so there's a double equal sign there. Any other number, any other possible number below 10, negative numbers, 10 million, doesn't matter, if it's not 10, doesn't do anything. So we're going to be looking at how to actually do this on Python. So this is on worksheet 4 on Teams, so I've got that up here, it's under the Python folder. The first one you've just got to run, you just got to copy out and run. I'll look at task 2, which is this age one. So we're going to ask age equals, remember to do int input, I almost forgot myself there, and then say, what is your age? And then you say if age, and I can't remember what the question is. Oh, it's old enough to vote, so it's if you're 16 or older in Scotland. So we'll say if age is greater than or equal to 16, print you are old enough to vote. And then if we run that, I will just save this to the desktop. I'm going to be deleting it after anyway. So what is your age? I'm pushing 50. So 50, you're old enough to vote. What's going to happen later on is there, and that's it really for now, but let's look at other programs. This, you just have to do float instead of int before it because it asks for decimal numbers. This one is a little bit different. You need to make a bit of math, so I'll quickly go over task 6. So what we're looking, if the total is over £10, they get a discount voucher. So you would just write it as item 1 equals int, or float, sorry, because it's a decimal number. If it's got a point to it if we're talking about money. So float equals, item 1 equals float input, and we'll say, well, how much did your first item cost? You can just copy and paste that. If you want to be quick, just go Control C, then Control V, change this to 2, change this to second. And then we need to add them up. So we go total equals item 1 plus item 2. No spaces. I made a mistake there myself because there's not a space here. If you do that, the computer doesn't like it. It thinks it's 2 different bits of code. It thinks it's 2 different variables. And then we compare. We're not comparing the items this time. We're comparing the total. So we say if total is greater than or equal to 10, print, you get a voucher. So I will run that, I'll test it. How much did your first item cost? Let's say it cost £5. Let's say it costs £6 for the second. It's £11, so it will say you get a discount voucher. Just to prove the other way it works, that's the wrong button I pressed. How much did your first item cost? Let's say it costs £4, and let's say the other one costs £2.50. It's not enough yet, so right now it does nothing. We'll look at how to make it say something later. And that's really it. Hopefully that should be enough to get you through the rest of the worksheet. Right, bye.